Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. Put the make it round the world and the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World.
BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from NFL playoffs to pro, college basketball, UFC, MMA, and more. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.
Tell them the noise make conception.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
2, 1, ready, come on.
Not getting hustle, not getting hustle. Keeping your head above water. Making a way when you can.
Every lady,
Good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em?
yeah.
Good times.
Cool.
Glad to be here with you tonight for the show that keeps on showing. You feel me? I don't know if y'all can hear that. Can y'all hear that in the background? Mama Noise, can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that in the background? Okay. So, Mama Noise, I'm going to need you to go make the adjustment for me while I introduce the people. Yeah, it's about that time. White organist or white guitarist. It's Tuesday. I keep forgetting it's Tuesday. Give us a little something there, please. Good to see everybody tonight. Hope you're in a wonderful mood. I know I am. I know I'm ready to talk some noise for you. Hope you're ready to talk some noise back to us. Jump on in the chat. As you grab your church fan and your Bible and your notebooks and all that stuff. Yeah, notebooks. Take notes sometimes. Sometimes it's good to take notes of stuff you heard that you liked. That's what happens in a good message. You take notes. Then you quote them back to your friend. Apply them to your life. All that good stuff. Nevertheless, we're talking noise here tonight. Enjoy yourself. And let's have a good old time in the name of the Lord. Amen and amen. What's up, fam bam? What's going on? All right. Thank you, White Guitarist. Appreciate you, brother. White Guitarist makes me feel good on the inside. You know what I'm saying, Mama Noise?
Okay.
Does he make you feel good when you hear him play? It makes me feel good. Maybe you want to take up guitar. I think I'm going to play guitar. I think that's one of my goals for the end of the year, that I learn how to play guitar. Like I'm going to be like, then I'm going to come on here on this here podcast and be like, just like Unc Noise be doing. I'm going to do all that. But it's going to sound better than that. But you know what I'm saying. Why are you looking at me like that? Like you don't believe me? Mama Noise.
It's the sound effects. That's what's happening.
If my mind can conceive it and my heart will believe it, then I can achieve it. I heard that somewhere. I'm just saying, Mama Noise, believe in it. Support me.
Okay.
All right, then. How are you doing tonight, by the way? What is it?
I'm well until old Rockhead Chad think that he can throw some salt.
Not with the Delta colors. We ain't doing that, Chad. We ain't I can't support you.
I mean, really? I mean, if you don't, Mr. Sports Guy, if you don't know who Cassius Clay is, then we need to have a conversation.
You just call him out on his sports knowledge?
He just tried to call me out on some colors.
You called him out on his sports knowledge.
I'm just saying, recognize game.
I mean, listen, Mama Noise.
Was yesterday or the day before that was his birthday. So then there's that.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I ain't gonna get between what y'all got going on tonight because it sounds like it's a lot. But it's good to see everybody pulling up here tonight on this here podcast. And we're grateful to see you and grateful to hear from you. Shout out to those who've been praying for Unc Noise. Please keep doing so. I did get a chance to touch base with Unc, and he sends his love to each and every one of y'all. So there's that. And we are things are moving in the right direction. I'm grateful to be here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed Martin Luther King Day, your day off. Some of you had the day off, some of you didn't have the day off, some of you had to work. But I also want to tell y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed what we showed y'all last night. We had the little clip of the show, or not show, but it's one of Martin Luther King's speeches. What is your life blueprint? And we played that last night, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a chance to either see it live or you went back and saw it later. That's all good, but it was good to be able to play that, man. It was good to be able to support, because Martin Luther King Day don't get he gets love, but I don't know if he getting the love that he's supposed to be getting like he used to. Like we used to, Martin Luther King Day used to be a really, really, really big deal, and now, uh, uh, I don't know if it gets the same love it used to get. I mean, do you think it gets the same love, Mama Noise?
Oh no, I don't.
See, that's what I feel. I feel like it's not getting the type of love that it so richly deserves all the time. Like a lot of times, I feel like we be coming up short with the love for Dr. King.
I mean, I've been seeing all kinds of posts. With one post had a Martin Luther King with a gold grill, and some
I didn't understand what all that was about. Like, what was that? What was going
advertising for parties and stuff like that on like
on?
Sunday night.
Those real advertisements?
No, yeah, those were real advertising.
That's crazy.
For parties the night before and just stuff.
Yeah. And all of that was bad. I did see some of that, but I don't know, honestly, Mama Noise, if anything was as bad as the statue in Boston. I mean, y'all. I don't even know. I don't even know what we're supposed to do with that. Like Mama Noise, it's so bad. Like, y'all. So Hank Willis Thomas is the guy's name that came up with it. And I believe in his heart, he had good intentions. Like he said, I have been asked to do this thing, and I want to do it to the best of my abilities. And that's what he tried to do. That's really what he tried to do. He said, I'm going to do this to the best of my abilities. The problem is that what he thought he was doing, that ain't what he did. Like, Mama Noise, this is just...
Some of my artistic friends said that this is not being shown properly.
Yes, it is. And to your artistic friends, I would say, I don't know what y'all talking about. What other way could it be shown? It is what it is. Like, you can't make it something else that it ain't. It is what it is. Like, what we supposed to do? Put a big picture of the original picture on the side of it to make you think, well, this is what it's really supposed to be, but this is what he came up with. No, this is what he came up with, and that's what it is. And it looks like what it's supposed to look like. And I'm sorry, but ain't no way to fix this. And God bless you, Hank, for trying. I appreciate the try, but if in my humble opinion, we could have got something better for $10.5 million. That's just my opinion. Now, art is subjective and interpretive. I get it. It just boy, I don't know. Al B's in the building. Al B, Mama Noise. What are y'all thoughts? I just think it's a lot. It's wow.
Hey, Dion.
Mama Noise be having side conversations like we ain't doing the show, but it's all right. What do y'all think about this?
Initially, I was just completely flabbergasted, like almost to the point of appalled. But after I compared them side by side, I see his intent. I think it could have been much better. I certainly don't think it was worth the amount it was commissioned for.
Right.
Because I mean, without an explanation, it means nothing.
Nothing. And Al, what you just said to me is the perfect way to describe it. If I listen, I get that art is subjective. I get that. I get that art is interpretive. I get that. I'm a creative myself. So I get that. But if I have to completely explain it to you from the very beginning, I failed. I'm just being honest with you. I failed as an artist because you should be able to glean other interpretations from it. But you should not have to have a complete explanation to interpret it, to start your interpretation. And that's what I think this, if I didn't know about the picture, there's no way to know what this is. I don't know what this is. You got it looks like a hand holding something that is an extension of some brother that was well endowed. That's what it looks like. Mama Noise, you know I'm telling the truth.
What?
It looks like an extension of some brother that was some hands holding something from some brother that was well endowed. That's what it looked like. The brother was blessed and highly favored, and she said, "Amen." She's holding it up. That's what it looked like.
Well, if she's holding something the size of an arm, I don't think that's a blessing. That's a curse.
Well, depending on the woman.
Ain't nothing he gonna be able to put. Ain't nowhere he gonna be able to put that.
depending on the lady. I mean, some ladies are blessed, and maybe they're able to handle more than others. But I'm just saying, you don't know what it is. You don't, or it looks like she's holding some excrement, like some shit. Like, what are we talking about? It don't look like it. It leaves way too much to the imagination, and I don't think art is supposed to do that, in my opinion.
I am without one.
Mama Noah, tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me.
I don't know what to think of that. I don't have the direction that you're going in regard to well endowed and all that stuff. I don't have that.
Mama Noah, what does it look like to you?
I don't know what it looks like. I see a hand that has a bracelet on it. I don't. Okay. But I don't. But I don't see what. I'm just not clear.
It's right. It's not clear. Now, here's another side view. If you want to see this side view, that maybe is a little better, maybe a little bit better, but it ain't much better. I still don't know what it is.
Wow. It looks. Nope.
Because it's got hands on the front, and then it's a whole hand on the
I see two hands, but I don't know what is going on. I can't. It's not clear.
I mean, I see the buttons now, and okay, I see the ring on his finger.
And see, that's what some people were saying. They were saying that whoever kind of got this out to the public first on Twitter or whatever, got it out there at an angle. The picture was shot, and then black people went all in.
But Mama Noise, therein lies the point. If I can't, from whatever angle I'm looking at it, if I can't understand what it is, from what I still, even with the buttons and the hands, I still don't know what it is. If I had never seen the picture, I still wouldn't know what this was. I just think it was, you would just say, this is Martin Luther King. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, did y'all just want his arms? Like, why are we just taking pictures of his arms in a jacket? Like, that still don't make any sense. So it's like, I'm sorry. Now, when you get into the depth of the conversation, you understand that the pictures from where they captured the picture of them embracing when he found out he won the Nobel Peace Prize. But there's no way to look at that statue and say, "Oh, that's what it is." It's when he won the Nobel Peace Prize and they hugged it out or whatever. You wouldn't get that. So I'm just saying, I just don't think it works. That's just my opinion.
And you said several times this evening that art is subjective,
Right.
open for interpretation,
Right.
which is true. But this is a sculpture to honor one of the greatest men, not only in America, but in the world.
Right.
Shouldn't be that much interpretation needed.
I shouldn't have to work that hard.
No.
Not that hard.
Now, I'm just saying, if you were just given free reign to do a contemporary sculpture, blah, 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 whatever, you know, have at it. But, you know, this was to honor Dr. King.
Yeah. I think he missed the mark. Even after the explanation, even after seeing everything and hearing everything, I still think he missed the mark. I just be honest with you, Mama Noise. I just don't think he got it. And, you know, I just don't think he got it. So that's just my opinion. But Mama Noise, if you see something else, if you think it's better than what I'm seeing, then I respect that, you know.
I'm just
noisemakers, y'all put in the chat if y'all what y'all think. Do y'all think that the artist nailed it and we're just wrong? That's fine. We can respect that. You know, I just think the guy it didn't hit. Like here's the one that everybody. Here's the angle. I just want to show this last one because Mama Noise, you said you didn't understand what we were talking about earlier, and I'm gonna tell you this is one of the first angles that hit the internet, and that's why people were saying what they were saying. They were like, "Man, that looked like a big old jack." You know what I'm saying? That looked like a, you know, it just didn't. It didn't
I
look.
just want to know who signed off on it. It could not have been created without being signed off by.
Oh, no question. Well, somebody wrote him a $10 million check.
His foundation had to have signed off on this before they cut a check.
Yeah, but see, the problem is that once you sign off on it, and once he finishes it, man, you kind of stuck.
No, I'm saying you didn't see that in the because he didn't just say I got something in mind.
You saying in the design?
He didn't blindly say I got something in mind. You're gonna love it, and then go ahead and cut me the check. It'll be fine when you see it. There. I don't think it went blind.
That's a great point, Mama Noise. That is a great point.
$10 million? Oh, somebody signed off on that.
So I'm wondering if was the person that signed off on it just afraid to tell him and say, "Yo, bro, I don't really get your vision, and I'm gonna need you to clarify, or I'm gonna need you to make some corrections." Like that, you're saying there had to have been a way to stop this before he launched off into
a sketch was reviewed.
That's what I'm saying. Based on what you're saying there had to be a way to stop this and maybe.
Listen.
Before he started lighting up fire and doing a bunch of stuff.
When you order certain things, I'm saying if you like, for instance, okay. When we get the t-shirts for Noise Media, right? When we get those t-shirts, somebody's gonna say, "Let me see what you're trying to do." We show them what we want. They send it back and say, "Is this what you mean? This is exactly what you mean." Okay, I need to know if this is exactly what you mean, because once I say yes on this computer, it's gonna print thousands of shirts. And once it's printed, that's it. You're gonna have to go ahead and cut that check. I don't want to hear, I see a flaw. No, you were supposed to go over it to make sure there was no flaws before you said yes, and then cut the check.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree with you, Mama Noise, and that's a great point you just made. So I don't know. It is. Well, you know,
that the sculpture of George Floyd looks better than this?
Oh, for sure. I don't think that's in question. Yeah, I
Because
don't
this
think
right
that's
here is just wrong. If you're not gonna put his head there, her head there, to make it look like him and her and exactly what you were aiming for, that makes no sense.
I guess I would love to talk to the artist and find out why he didn't put the head there. Like, why not just go the extra step and put
I'm
their heads
curious
there?
why he's not talking. Why haven't we heard an explanation?
Well, I want to say he was on Good Morning America. I could be wrong. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I thought I heard him say something about or somebody say he was on Good Morning America. Maybe y'all talk
I
amongst
did
yourselves.
hear somebody say that. I heard somebody say that he was to be interviewed. Now I don't know when, but I did hear about that. Did you hear about that, Al?
I did not. Hence the question: why hasn't he been speaking? I didn't know that it existed. So,
Okay.
apparently, he's out there trying to rationalize or get people to understand.
Okay.
You're muted. We can't hear a word you're saying.
Can't hear you.
As he should be. He should probably be out there getting ahead of this. I just want to. I'm curious because I know we may take the L on this, but I gotta know, and the noisemakers gotta know as well. I just want to see what he's gonna say. I'm just so curious.
Oh, hey.
I hear that.
What?
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Okay. We definitely don't want
Luther
that part.
King Day tomorrow. We go to Boston, which just unveiled a moving tribute to Dr. King, his family, and racial equity in the form of a massive sculpture. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi is here with details. Good morning.
Liz Thomas is the artist behind the sculpture, affectionately titling it The Embrace.
He's hugging her, and you can see her literally holding him up. And it's something that was so special.
Thomas is known globally for his work honoring diverse historic figures.
I'm really excited to be highlighting this very important moment in 1964 when Dr. King was awarded the Nobel Prize, because that was really a culmination of over a decade of incredibly hard work that not only Dr. King did, but also Mrs. King.
The famed King couple's love story began in Boston. He was a theology doctoral student at Boston University while she was studying at the New England Conservatory of Music. The $10 million sculpture celebrating their life complements the 30-foot tall MLK Memorial on the National Mall. Dr. King's 14-year-old granddaughter honoring her grandparents' legacy.
Have y'all heard? Have anybody heard what the family has said about it?
I've heard nothing from the family.
I'd be very curious to know what his family feels.
No media. I'm saying I have seen no media with
Were
comments.
any of them at
the unveiling?
It did. I have not heard any of that.
They sure are keeping a tight lip. Unless I'm
more like some really, really wealthy Wahite man sitting in a top story corner office said, you know what? We trust you. Just, we trust you. We can't wait to see it.
Oh my gosh. So if I'm correct, are they saying that he was also responsible for the one on the
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
The one in DC? No. He
Okay.
had nothing to do with that.
He should have. I mean, they should have had that person do it.
Now, I see one article where the cousin of Dr. King slams it as a woke waste of money.
Some woke cousins.
Seneca Scott, who is the cousin of
Coretta,
says it's a woke waste of money, and he's a failed candidate for mayor. He spoke out, said that $10 million were wasted on the statue of his cousin's late husband. And the woke algorithm is just broke. I don't know what else to tell you. If you went through all of that and that's what you came up with, something is wrong.
Tell us how you really feel.
The woke cousin. The woke
He said
cousin.
you spending $10 million on a bronze statue without heads on it, man, it's a joke. No performance, no photo ops. Put your phone down and go do an act of service that no one knows about. I mean, he said it with his whole chest, didn't he?
I still can't get over the woke cousin. Ask me, I'm his wife's cousin sister on his mama's side.
Yeah, you got to get somebody to go on the record. That's what you try to do is get somebody
as close as
they did, and they did. So anyway, we will move on. That was a tough one for Martin Luther King Day, to say the least. At any rate, and again, the family themselves, I have not heard any of them say anything. Maybe they were there. Let's see today.
It's just a poor representation of my seventh cousin on my sister's mama's side.
Your seventh cousin
on my sister's mama's side.
Your sister's mama's side. Got you. That is hilarious in so many ways. We will keep, as they say, monitoring this story. Now, let me see. Is this an old story? Somebody's trying to say that maybe some of the King family was there for the unveiling.
Mm-hmm.
Usually one of the children typically makes it.
I would think for something of this magnitude.
Yeah, the brother of Bernice.
Right. I would say somebody for some of this magnitude, somebody in the family was there or whatever.
Well, okay.
So anyway, we digress and we move forward. Today is Talk That Tuesday, y'all, and we got some interesting conversation to get into.
And a shout out.
Go ahead, Mama Noise. Give you a shout out.
Shout out to Muhammad Ali. It was his birthday yesterday.
We weren't gonna give that shout out at all.
Yes, we was.
You were. I didn't know anything about his birthday.
I reckon Cassius Clay.
Okay.
You know, that is so sad, Mama Noise, because I reside here in the great city of Louisville, Kentucky, home of said Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali. And I did not hear anything about it.
Wow. Got a boulevard, got a whole museum, a whole nine, and nothing. Well, that's sad.
So I after researching just a little bit, I did find that the brother or the son, I guess, was there, and the granddaughter gave us a speech
at this unveiling.
Yeah, looks like it.
I mean, but it's like a grand.
What was her speech?
Well, you got me fucked up.
No,
I don't think that was a speech.
What about you?
She's a baby. She's a baby, Al. She's a baby.
Partnership.
Let's see here.
I also
Luther King Jr. and
there's the son standing right next to him.
Wanda Renee King, the king's granddaughter, sure came close.
I love this monument. I also see the love and strength and unity in these hands and how they symbolize a beautiful marriage and partnership.
The emotion evident in those who pushed so hard to make this happen.
A sensory overload of joy. I would, if my superpower was to absorb joy, I would have enough to power the city of
So
Boston.
he's responsible for this. This
The
dude
Kings
here.
met in Boston, had their first date right here in the Common. And now, a lasting tribute to their love.
Boston became the place where they forged a partnership that would change America and make a powerful contribution to the Black freedom struggle. That's what I see in this beautiful monument.
I am very proud to be their granddaughter, but I am also challenged by their inspiring legacies of vision,
She's like her
courage,
granddaddy.
and hope and healing.
That was Levi Rosen reporting. We will have another look at.
All right, so they see healing hands and lessons of
I'm gonna tell you, she had that script written before she got up there, and she did not see it first. She's reading from her paper.
No, I don't know that, Mama Noise, because they probably did have to see it and say, but I mean, once it's done, what can you do? You can't do nothing.
Well, I mean, that's why she said she had to say, "I love this sculpture," and it's like, girl.
Yeah, go ahead and hit her with the drop.
We didn't know what the drop is. That what we doing?
No, the drop was the baby when the veil dropped. She really said, "What the hell?"
That might have been what she said behind the scenes.
The hell.
She can't say that to her dad. That's her daddy up there.
No, she can't, because she is the granddaughter and was getting ready to have a few words.
Yeah, she can't come hardcore. She gotta,
Yeah, they'll never give her the microphone again. So no, she governed herself accordingly.
She looked young. She looked young. Well, I mean, it's done now. Ain't nothing you can do about it. They just gotta suck it up and it's all done. Just yay, we got a statue.
Hey, way to go, Boston.
Yay, Boston, yay. He said,
I am flabbergasted.
He said, I am so happy we did this. I'm so happy. Word.
I'm really blown away. I appreciate the history lesson that they met, or their first date or whatever was there. I think that was awesome. And them saying, what was his degree was, in divinity, and
I'm surprised that he was in seminary all the way up in Boston with all the great Southern seminaries back in the 60s, 50s. I'm surprised he was all the way up in, well, it was kind of still illegal down south to educate Black folk. So, yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they gave him a scholarship too. So he kind of went where the money was, which is totally understandable. And it just worked out. God, bless
Was she on
him.
scholarship too?
I think so.
I mean, the music.
Don't quote me on that, but I think so. I think they were both on scholarship. So listen, I get it. You go where the money sends you, and destiny sent them there to meet each other. So that's destiny being the Lord. So I get it. I'm not that part. I don't. I'm not commentating on, because I think that's awesome. I just think there was a better way to do this, and I appreciate the King family not getting on the microphone and saying this is some bullshit. They could have said that.
That's why they didn't put them. That's why they heard that.
Right.
One of the Scots said,
Yeah, one of the Scots said this is some bullshit. He absolutely said it. But
so that told you that some of the Scots is hood and was like, give me the microphone. I'll tell you exactly what I think.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's probably more that felt the exact same way. Like, notice Bernice, who is very outspoken. The Right Reverend Bernice did not show up to this. She was like, I'm not going to that foolishness. Y'all got me going.
My mama told me if you can't say nothing nice, don't
say
nothing
nothing at all. Exactly.
That's right.
I'm gonna stay here and listen to Biden tell his lies in my daddy's church.
Oh my, lies? You call them lies, Al?
You know what? I don't know if you have that on your agenda tonight.
Well, you know what? I have no problem pivoting. Let's just go ahead and pivot.
I am so sick of the hypocrisy of politics. How dare you crucify that man, and here we find you with classified documents, not in one, not in two, but three different places.
Well,
righteous, indignant accusations, and here we are with you. So,
well, I mean, maybe they don't understand you're not supposed to take stuff home from work.
They're not working anyway.
I don't know.
It's just, you know, I'm over it. You know, politics. I'm politicians, not politics. Politicians. I'm over it. Here we got Marjorie Greene getting appointed to a committee.
Right.
What could she possibly be deserving to, you know, sit on a committee for? Then you got this crook lying Santos up in New York. I mean, I'm just over politics.
Well, I wish I could say that this is not what we have become or what we've always been, but I can't. Because I think the only difference now is that we're getting the truth in a 24-hour news cycle, and it wears you down. Like, it just wears you down because you get so tired of hearing, like you said, about the hypocrisy. At least before, when we didn't have a 24-hour news cycle, when it was just the 5 o'clock news, you'd be like, okay, I only got to hear it once for an hour, and then that's it. But now it's like all day, every day, CNN lying, talk about breaking news, and the breaking news was the same news they had an hour ago. Like, it's just, you just get tired. They wear you out with it. And maybe that's the design. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do, to get you so worn down by the whole thing that you don't even care anymore.
America's sick and tired of these investigations. We just want to do the work of the people. Now that we have control, we're going to investigate you. And then the flip side. Now, Democrats are saying, you know, it's no big deal. No.
Who doesn't take folders home from work?
Right. He's cooperating. It's no big deal.
He's not trying to hide anything. He was just looking at
unlike 45, who refused to turn over the documents. It's no big deal. Well, you know, Chuck.
And what are the documents? That's the question. We don't even know what they are.
They're classified, buddy. We'll never know.
Well,
it could be that or they're from 2016 when he was vice president. So it could be a document saying that Michelle likes red fingernail polish on Wednesdays, but it's classified.
Right, it could be anything. It could definitely be
anything. We'll never know because it's classified.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. It is tiresome to have to keep hearing about it and keep talking about it, and you know, and then I'll tell you this: my fatigue of bringing it to In Case You Missed It Monday or a Black Friday is not due to partisan politics, but more so to just mental and emotional fatigue of the whole thing. I'm just tired of it all. It's just ridiculous. And so how do you know, it's rough. It's real rough, man. So there's so many things that are going on in our world and our society right now. And so many horrific circumstances, and we try to keep you abreast of all of it as it unfolds. We got, what did he say? Joe got, he got barbecue sauce on. He didn't want to That's funny. We try to bring you some of those stories, like the one we talked about. I guess Saturday when we were talking about the young man that got tased to death. We're still trying to see what that is and make sense out of that. And then, of course, there's the situation in Alabama, which I still don't understand what that was, where the two players killed the baby mama for whatever reasons. I mean, we could easily make this podcast about all of the worst elements that are going on in this world, and we'd be filled to the brim. I mean, we would be filled to the brim. But we try to bring some elevated conversation about different stuff that is not quite always the intensity of what's going on in the world. So that's what we're trying to do here today. And hopefully we'll succeed. I don't know. But Al is 100% correct. It's so fatiguing and draining a lot of the time. So anyway, we digress. I'm going to take this hat off because my head is getting hot. It's 60 degrees here, y'all. 60.
I think we either hit 61 or 62.
Yeah. Mama Noise, you are muted and it came about.
It was 71 degrees earlier.
Yeah, so we're just trying to, cool off a little bit. But anyway, I did want to talk about this though. Something caught my attention today. Two things on this Talk That Tuesday. One was an interview. Now, you guys remember former NBA basketball player Kwame Brown. Many have called him an NBA first round. The word that is lofted at him many times is a bust. Like he did not fulfill his first round potential. He was Michael Jordan's first ever draft pick for the Washington Wizards when he was running that squad. And he was considered a quote unquote bust. But he got into it with several NBA players who were calling him out. He gave them all the energy and smoke that they were looking for, and they all kind of backed down or whatever. But there was an interesting interview done by the brothers of the Pivot. Shout out to Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor and Shannon Crowder for a really solid interview. And earlier when Kwame was depicted by several other NBA players, they were going back and forth in the media. He was kind of led to be looked at as crazy. Like he's kind of crazy. But when you saw this interview, anything but. Very articulate, very calculated. I don't agree with everything that he said in the interview or all of his methods, but I was impressed with his ability to articulate his plans and what he was attempting to do with his life. Which brings us to this interesting question that we have here today as Cuz walks through the door. We have two separate questions today. But the first one is this one, because Cuz said this quite a bit. It's ironic that Cuz would come in at this time. We label people as crazy quite quickly in this society. In fact, we do a damn good job of doubling down on their craziness and making it look like they are loopy and building a narrative that they are and cutting up clips to make it look like they are and sound bites and all types of things. When in actuality, lots of times, maybe even most of the time, nothing can be further from the truth. So I asked my esteemed panel here, are we far too quick? And even in what you said, Al, I'm going to bring back in what you just said about this particular situation as it relates to Agent Orange and President Joe Biden. They take materials home and they look like two crazy old men. When the truth is, they had reasons for doing what they did. Now, what those reasons are, we probably will never know. But they did it. So are people crazy, or are people calculated, or are people just simply misunderstood? So I throw that out to my group here.
I'm not going to expound other than before we get too far away from the starting line. I just wanted to put this point in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to look at folks like Ted Bundy, David Koresh, Jim Jones, dare I say, Manson.
Mm-hmm.
They were very articulate, intelligent individuals. So you said earlier, Kwame Brown, and I'm not labeling him as crazy. I don't even know the full situation. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying you made the statement that, you know, Kwame Brown's not crazy. You know, he's thought-provoking, articulate, and calculated. So yeah, you can't dismiss one because of the other is what I'm simply trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Cuz has always said, we have to stop doing that, you know, because we were guilty in the beginning. And since being reprimanded by Cuz so often, you know, we often called Halle Berry a little unstable, not knowing her situation. So I don't do that anymore, thanks to Cuz. I don't label people crazy, you know.
But you can call her a fine mother. You can call her that.
Different story, different topic.
I may not call it that either. I may want more information. I don't know. No.
But yeah, I think we are quick to call somebody crazy just to dismiss them. So,
is there ever a time? Well, I'll let you guys answer first, then I'll ask this question. Go ahead, Mama Noise, Cuz.
Mama Noise, you look like you ready to say something profound, so I'm going to yield to you.
Greetings, Cuz.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
Oh my goodness, would y'all knock it off?
You know, growing up in my house, I could tell that word was a trigger word from my mom, which ultimately ended up being a trigger word for me. I felt like it was a cop-out when a man didn't want to own up or be held accountable or tell the truth or whatever. Just cop out and say, she crazy, you know, like so that everybody around would be like, oh, okay, that's what the problem is. Instead of just, you know, being straight up. And I have never liked the word being used flippantly like that because of the way that I was raised with my mom.
So that's an interesting word.
So I mean, first thing, you know, people say, and then I'm like, wait a minute, and I find myself trying to defend immediately. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Let's try to figure out what the problem is instead of we just resort to that and then just that's what it is, and then just, you know, it's instead of there is a backstory. There has to be a reason for this. There has to be something that causes a person to respond this way or act this way. Oh, and it's no different than I think, what was his name? Elijah McClain, the young man who was killed a while back, who had medical issues. And they didn't even take time to try to figure that out. It was like, he black. He got to be, you know, he's got to be angry. It's something going on. It's just so many situations where you guys as black men immediately, it's like, okay, I'm sizing you up. You know, you cut the corner, you see Mr. Noise. Oh, he's 6'4". You know, wait a minute. He must be an angry black man. You didn't jump to your conclusions because you don't even want to find out what's going on. So it really, listening to his interview today, and I'm going, he's a big boy. I'd have cut the corner and seen him. He's a big boy. What did he say? 6'9"?
Oh no, he's far bigger than 6'9".
But I mean, I'm 5'3", so let's just go there. I'm just saying, and he just was like, man, folks just came to all these conclusions about me, and I'm like, I get it that he did some things or whatever, but wow.
All right.
I think that was just a cop out. I think it was just such a cop out to just call him crazy.
Okay, Mama Noah. Cuz.
I think it's almost human nature to do that. That was a movie I liked back in the day. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a Richard Pryor movie. I don't think it was Which Way Was Up.
Was it Stir Crazy?
No, it was when he was married to Annie Mae. Him and Annie Mae got to fighting in that kitchen, and she threw the knife at the door and almost hit him, and that's when he.
I remember that movie. I just can't remember.
Why do I feel like it's busting loose?
That is Which Way Is Up. No, that's Which Way Is Up.
Oh, that's Which Way Is Up. Yeah.
Yeah. He played all the multiple roles, and one of the roles he played was the granddaddy, and one of the popular lines from the movie is when Richard said, as the granddaddy, "Nigga, is you crazy?" That is something that we've said in our society. All of our lives, that's commonplace. When you don't understand something or somebody, you immediately go to, you must be crazy. And the reality is, we box people in when we say that. And that's why I try to stay away from the boxing people in, because you don't know their story. You don't know their situation, but yet you're willing to label them. None of us on this here podcast are listening want to be labeled by people that don't even know us.
And that's actually the world we've created.
Exactly.
Because that's really what social media has become. A place to label the person, a place to label, a safe place, if I can say it that way, to label or to attach a label to someone that we've never seen or understood. And that's not a good thing.
But
that's
it's so
not
commonplace.
Huh?
But it's so commonplace. It just rolls off of our lips.
It's very much common. And we've all done it. We've all done it. I know I have. I've attached all. They got it. He got to be. Now, I wrote down this question because I didn't want to forget. Is there ever a time where someone has earned that label?
Say that again.
Is there ever a time when someone's actions has created a cyclone, is that the word? Silo. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Where they earn that word. Their action. Like I'm looking at these two boys from Alabama that's killing the baby mama, and I'm saying that action is crazy to me. I don't understand that action. So I don't know how to separate the craziness of the action from the person that committed the act. So I end up labeling both the action and their actor as crazy. Maybe unfairly, maybe, but that's how a lot of us arrive at it. An action precedes the actor, and because of the action, we label the actor and the action both crazy.
I absolutely believe there are situations that are beyond reasonable, and they have to fall into the category of crazy. I just think that we as a society, as people, It's not a black thing or a white thing, but as people, we jump to that too quick, simply because of our differences and not understanding. Uh, your opinion is crazy. Your actions that I disagree with are crazy. I don't know the backstory, but just because I wouldn't do it, I label you as crazy.
That's crazy.
Young people do it all the time, but they call everything that they don't understand and that they would do differently. They call it stupid or crazy, or mostly stupid.
Right.
Why they want us to do this at school? It's stupid. Everything's stupid. Well, that's simply because you don't know the reason why.
You know what's dangerous about that is that we now have, because of social media, created a blob-like mentality. And what I mean by that is a blob, by movie definition, is an entity that, as it continues to move forward, continues to consume and grow. So that's what the Blob did. If you remember the old 1950, 1960 movie, The Blob, that's what it did. It started out as this small thing, and the more it ate, the more it consumed, the bigger it grew. Well, that's kind of like social media opinion. If enough people tweet about it and call it a thing, now the thing begins to swell, and now it's trending, and now we all carry that opinion. Today, just today, once again, Antonio Brown, the former wide receiver of Pittsburgh Steelers, and for a half a second, the Raiders, and another half a second, the Patriots, and finally won a Super Bowl title with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He, on Snapchat, tweeted out, or not tweeted, but put up a Snapchat of his girlfriend, I guess, sucking his thing. Sucking his penis. Dick. Okay. That went out on Snapchat today. Trending all over the world now. As a result of that, somebody capturing it. Now, guess what? The narrative about him, once again, is he's crazy. He's got to be crazy. Look what he's doing. Look at the action that he is doing. He's got to be crazy. Now, the problem with him is that a lot of his historical activities appear to be in the realm of crazy type behavior. Like, we don't understand it, and it doesn't make logical sense to us. So we all think Antonio Brown is a bit crazy. That's the narrative on him. And how do you shake it? If you're Antonio Brown, how do you change it? Or do you even care to change it? I mean, go ahead.
You cannot attempt to address everybody's opinion of you. You must live your life the best you can. It would be crazy of him to try to prove to all of us that he's not crazy. In fact, when people go to telling you that they are not something, they probably are, because they're trying to prove. You can't disprove.
Yes, unfortunately, don't you have to, though, cuz? Because I spent 16 years arguing with myself, basically, that perception is not reality. And then finally, I accepted the fact that others' perception is reality. So what one perceives of me is their reality. So don't I need to alter their perception of me?
But it doesn't have to be your reality.
Oh, and more than likely it will never be. But do I have to try to correct their perception?
No. For instance, a word that's thrown around a lot. Once you label someone as a racist, how do they disprove that? Is it possible to disprove a negative? Because
I would say
whatever I do, you're not going to consider it genuine. You think I'm just trying to disprove it.
I see what you're
So
saying.
I'm going down a rabbit hole that I can't win. I can't even fight in.
Wow.
So it's a waste of time.
This is ironic because I just, when was that? Yesterday, on my wall, I put, imagine how many people dislike you because they didn't hear your side of the story. Just because of what they heard from somebody else. And hearing this young man's interview today was like, they painted a picture of this guy to be ignorant when he's highly intelligent. I mean, wow. It was a wow moment just listening to him speak. Now, like Lloyd said, he did have some moments. He had some, some challenges and some things he could have made better choices. But even Ryan Clark was like, man, after this interview, I got a whole nother different, my whole, who I thought you were, I was wrong. And even Channing was like, he was scared of him. I guess because he'd heard that he was violent. So he was feeling some type of way, I don't want to rub him the wrong way. But then once he figured that it was safe, then he started asking all kinds of questions. It was like, this guy.
You muted Al.
Back in the height of this, we listened to some of the rants by Kwame Brown's like, man, this dude's got some unresolved issues that require immediate therapy.
Yeah.
You heard that, cuz? See, I didn't call him crazy. And so our own assessment was, leading that way as well.
Oh, no question about it. I thought he was loopier than a highway. He was, but at the same time, and I will give Cuz his flowers as well. Because as much as, I still feel a way about Halle Berry, I am willing to acquiesce that she did not arrive at her current state of mentality of her own accord. And therein lies the challenge that we need to continually resonate in our own minds as it relates to each one of us. We are the sum total of a group of events that have taken place in our lives that allow us to become whatever it is we become, mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. Right? And so to label someone simply as crazy is extremely dismissive. And so I have to do a better job as a human being of not doing that and saying, oh, they're just crazy. Well, no, what they did may be a bit off, but to just simply dismiss someone as full on crazy is probably not fair. Probably not fair.
When you say a bit off, you're talking about off as compared to the norm.
Right. As it not only off as it compared to the norm, and meaning a societal norm, but also off as it compares to what I would deem personally normal, which is where we really fall short most of the time. Because it sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with society. It's just the way I feel about it.
And therein lies the rub, because just like that sculpture we discussed in the opening, it's open for interpretation. The norm is open for interpretation.
Yeah.
So
what's Danny Bell saying? I've been labeled as a racist before by someone that didn't know me or my life. I laughed it off because they didn't know me, but the people that do know me, that's not the case, and it's impossible. Right. That is very impossible for you to have that label, sir. But I think that's the challenge though, because man, I don't know your story.
But Spence, when you to piggyback on what you're saying is in regard to his story, he was talking about, man, at 15 years old, he had to get a job and was paying bills and doing stuff where 15-year-olds don't.
Well, Mama Noise, to your point, he said at 15, I was working. I had brothers that were already in jail, like blood brothers that were already in jail, and I was helping my mom take care of the house while some of my brothers were selling drugs. Well, okay, if that's how you were raised, sir, that anger that you have societally is understood. So why am I labeling you as this thing, this angry black? Yeah, you're an angry black man. Of course you are, because as a black man, you've started life off on the wrong track. Like it's so. I grew an inch or two in my understanding once I started to understand that label is just not fair. I have to repent because I know I've said it. Oh, she crazy in the mug. It's so easy to dismiss something that you don't understand as that. And it's just simply not fair. Like you said, Al, it's just not fair.
Well, that's the way I feel as a black woman, is that I have always felt that, and I've always felt that it's like a man's cop-out to wanting to deal with the issues or be accountable to something. If you a liar or you done cheated or whatever, just come correct. Why you gonna label it off? She crazy because she's telling the truth, or because she see you, or she caught you, or whatever. And now you want to try to play.
I see what you're saying a little differently, because I want to agree with what you said. I think a lot of times men do it because they're cowardice. They don't want to deal with what is conflicting in that moment. And so it's much easier to dismiss you as crazy than to confront the reality and the truth that's staring them right in the face. Now I completely agree with you on that, Mama Noise. I think I think there's just a lot of punk ass men out there who just don't want to deal with what's real. And they just say, "Oh, you crazy."
Oh, I like what you said. Instead of you're just a coward.
Right.
It's easier to be a coward and say you crazy than to deal with what's really going on here. If it's a problem, let's discuss it. Let's communicate. You don't want to be with the person, don't be with them. But don't just,
Cuz you got that look on your face. You got that look on your face.
What?
I don't know. Cuz got that look on his face.
No, I agree.
Oh, okay.
What's been said.
So I understand exactly what is happening there too, Mama Noise, which brings us to the second part of today's Talk That Tuesday question. Because I got an interesting call today of a young man who I know, who initially told me, I didn't get it from the young man, sources close to the situation revealed to me that there was more to a story than meets the eye. And so a couple that I know away from here, I was initially told they were just having some problems and they decided to separate and divorce because it was just, irreconcilable differences, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But upon further investigation, or as we like to say, digging deeper, Al style, come to find out that there was some infidelity, there was some lying that was going on, and this, that, and the other. And so, but the narrative that was being portrayed out there was what we're talking about now. Oh, she's just crazy. We just didn't make it. We this, we that, and the other. And so my other question that we had today, is there ever a reason to just cheat?
Wow.
Is there ever a legitimate reason to cheat? And it's crazy a reason. She's crazy, man. I left her because she's crazy.
This is crazy the way you gelled this together like this. Well, I'm just simply saying that, you know, it goes back to what I was saying. If you don't want to be with the person, then just go home. I know you said that person saying, well, you don't want them to have nobody. But if you don't want to be with them, move on so that you can get with somebody that you don't want to cheat on, and that person can be with somebody that wants to be with them. Instead of it just being you know, I'm gonna keep the person and then have the other person too. You're just a greedy SOB.
Ooh, Mama Noise. You was right there on the line. You was right there on the line.
You're just greedy. It's just greedy. It's just selfish.
Can I ask a question? And cuz I'm gonna come to you first. Is not communicating a reason to leave and or cheat in a marriage? Not communicating. We're not clear. We're not communicating. I don't understand. You don't understand me. You're not meeting my needs. I'm not meeting your needs. We're not on the same page. Is that a reason to cheat on your spouse?
I don't think there's ever a reason to cheat on your spouse. I believe the question is flawed, even though I know why you asked the question. I understand the purpose of the question. I can never blame anyone else for my actions. So the reason why I cheated was not because of who you are or what you do or what you don't do or our lack of communication, our lack of intimacy, our whatever reason you come up with. You cheated, so therefore I'm a cheat. There's never a reason to cheat outside of it being who you are.
See, Mama Noise just said that. Both of y'all need to unpack that who you are thing. What does that mean? That's who you are.
If something can,
because that's a deep implication, and it goes back to kind of what we were saying about the crazy. You're calling me a cheater now. That's who I am. What do you mean by that?
If something can make you do, then that something has power over you. So how do you give power to the dysfunction enough to destroy what you called your marriage, your love, your heart, you put all these fancy words in it at one point in time? Mm-hmm. How do you allow that to destroy your marriage? I don't believe in giving anything on the outside power to destroy me from within. And me cheating is a within thing. Has nothing to do on the outside. That's a decision that I had to come to terms with on the inside. My dick being hard is not a reason to cheat. Mama Noise, did I say something wrong?
Yes, you said something wrong.
What? He just said, Mama Noise, that's true.
There's a way tactfully you could have said that.
Is it? Okay.
Anything on the outside that makes me
sorry, it's just
that destroys you on the inside. And infidelity is destructive. There's no way around it.
Is it cheating if we're not married?
Huh?
Is it cheating if we're not married? We're just dating. We're trying to figure this thing out. Is it cheating then?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna sit back on that one. I don't
If you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship. If you done made a commitment, then you're in a relationship. But if you ain't in a relationship, y'all just ships in the night, y'all get together for the casual hookup or whatever, then no.
So at what? Okay, so what define relationship? We committed ourselves to one another for the purpose of growth into something.
Yeah.
The moment you say you my boo, you my girl, you my guy, that's you are now obligated to stay faithful. Is that what you're saying, Mama Noise?
Yeah.
So your soror disagrees with you.
Well, it's okay. I'm saying if we are exclusive, where you are with just me, you don't want me dating just anybody else, and I don't want you dating just anybody else. We both agree that we're just exclusive. Then yes, we're in a relationship, and we shouldn't have multiple partners.
Should you ask of a? Go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm going to add to what Cuz said and what Mama Noise said. I agree wholeheartedly with what Cuz said, and the only thing I would add is that even in an instance where you're cheated on, cheating is not acceptable. So if someone, your spouse, your significant other cheats on you, it's still not okay for you to go do it because you've created a den of untrust, unfaithfulness, and that's not healthy. And to what Mama Noise says, if both parties agree, now when it's not a marriage, but a relationship, a dating, as you put it, Lloyd, my boo.
Yeah.
When the two of you agree, as Mama Noise said, that this is an exclusive relationship, then yes, going outside of that relationship for sexual gratification with someone else is cheating because you've agreed that we are going to commit, whether you're married or not. If the two of you have agreed to be faithful to one another, then yes, it's cheating. You don't have to be married to be unfaithful. Now, if you have a Diddy, what's the young lady's Young Miami?
Young Miami, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a relationship like that, then no, it's not cheating because you have an understanding.
Oh yeah, see.
So
if you friends with benefits and all that other BS, then you know.
Okay, so now I'm glad you brought that in, Al, because it brings this other question. A lot of marriages are saying now, let's get a true understanding right from the start. We are married. However, the reality is sometimes we get urges. I, as a man, get urges, and I travel a lot. And so can we have an open situation to where as long as I keep you informed of what I'm doing,
no, Michael Blackson, no.
Well, that's just one person. We know of several people who have that open understanding. So if the two people agree, you're saying Alice said no. I'm asking everybody else, is it if they have an understanding, is that cheating?
Ain't that Monique and them too?
Monique is allegedly in an open relationship. I don't know if they've ever fully confessed that. I think they have. I don't know. I don't keep up with her stuff like that. But but there are several people in Hollywood in high profile open situations or thruples or whatever the new terms are to these historical constructs that we have had of marriage.
Yeah.
They've redefined them and said cheating is when you're not honest about it. But if you are honest about the dynamics of what we have, then there is no longer cheating. Now, for us, that's wild to us because we're all traditionalists. So we don't, I would assume the four of us and many other noisemakers hear that and we go, that's some wild shit. But
why get married then? Just don't get married then.
But see, that's just it, Mama Noise. The reasoning behind now, again, I'm tying it all back to into the understanding of what we deem as crazy. Because to us, that sounds crazy. Like, why are you doing this? You sound crazy. But there is the one person that we can think of, and I think we even played the video of one of the young ladies that we are familiar with. Her reasoning, though I think flawed, and you probably guys think flawed as well, was that she'd never seen anybody in her family be faithful. She had never seen a man in her family be faithful. So in her mind, it's not possible for men to be faithful. That is an impossible construct. So why box men into something that they are clearly not capable of achieving? Therefore, let's just say this. As long as you tell me what you're doing, we are good. I don't want nobody calling me and jamming me up talking about, I slept with your man. Girl, I know you slept with him. You slept with him on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and he sent me the cash app that you sent him. So, that's how some of the modern relationships look at it.
I believe that part of that is fear of failure. I'm not sure I can be committed, so therefore, I construct a marriage that's built on if I cheat, then that wasn't failure. That's what we had agreed upon anyway. A lot of people that get divorced resent that divorce for, even though they couldn't live with the person or the person hurt them or whatever, but they resent the failure of the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I'm going to construct a situation to where it's never really failure. But back in the day when I got married, and for years I used to brag about it. I'm gonna use the word brag. I guess that's what it was. But I used to say to my fellow comrades, guys, even ladies, I would boldly state that I will never cheat on my wife. And many people had a problem with that statement because they would come with that never say never.
Mm-hmm.
And I say I can confess and state that it will never happen in my marriage. And people thought I was crazy for stating that, for saying that.
People think on here right now he's crazy for saying it. Not me. I'm saying
exactly.
Somebody's gonna hear this and say, "Oh, he's crazy."
Crazy, yeah,
right.
Yeah. But I never had the fear of failing in my marriage either.
Or they say you're not realistic.
Right. You don't know what the future holds. You don't know. No, it don't hold that. You're right. I don't know what it holds, but that won't happen.
Yeah.
Mama knows you said something that I want to revisit.
All right.
If it's that bad, or if you're that unable to be pleased, be it emotionally, sexually, mentally, whatever, then why subject yourself to a construct that you don't believe in? That's the thing that always puzzled me about this. If you truly don't believe in it, why do it? I don't understand. So history lesson real quick. Marriage is traditionally a Christian concept. It's a Christian construct. the concept of two people coming together in the sight of God or whatever is traditionally a Christian concept, a construct. If you don't subscribe to the thought process, then why do it? Because it ain't hurting you not to do it. It's like it doesn't make, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense to do it that way if you're not on board with the philosophies of it. Does that make? I mean, am I out left field with that? I mean, I don't understand why you would do it. Just be like you know who I respect, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I have always respected Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter did not get married until he was ready to get married. But before that, Derek Jeter has a long track record of being a hoe, and he was like, "This is who I am. Baseball is my first love, and I like a little something on the side from time to time. And I don't mind getting in these serial monogamy relationships, but as far as marrying these chicks, I ain't doing that until I'm ready."
Assign this non-disclosure stuff.
And he didn't. To his credit, he didn't do that. So they knew what it was coming in. They was like, oh, I'm gonna get to hang out with Derek Jeter. He probably gonna knock this off when we good. You can almost respect that. Like, I mean,
he let it be known what he. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I had a friend, and she told me that she was being courted by this millionaire, and she said she loved him, and he said he loved her. But he told her from the beginning, "I don't want children." And she said, "Oh, you just ain't met the right woman yet." He said, "No, I'm clear. I don't want children." And she said, "Well, I'm sure he just, once we get married and, give him a little time, he'll come over to my side."
To bring him around.
She loved children and wanted children. And her and I talked, and I looked her in the face and I told her, "Don't marry him." She like, we in love. I said, "But he don't want children, and he done told you that." And it was clear. You thinking if he married, I can't tell you how many young ladies that I've met before they were married, and the guy has told them what kind of guy they are, and they are like,
or shown them,
the red flags are like flagging them down traffic, and they still are like, "Well, he just needs the right woman." No, you trying to go past the caution and red light, run the red light. He told you he didn't want no kids, so she got married to him. She like, "Oh, I'm married to a millionaire. I done succeeded, blah blah blah." But her yearning.
I've heard Steve Harvey say the right woman will change the man. It's got to be a matchup type situation where, if you get the right woman, then the man will act right. I've heard him say that.
I've heard him say that too. However, if the person says from the giddy up, "I don't want it," and then you marry them thinking, "I'm going to change them," and her desire to want to have children was getting stronger, and then all she kept talking about is, "Well, when we going to have kids?" He said, "I told you from the beginning I did not want kids. Like, love or no love, I don't want no kids." Right. And then they end up getting divorced because he said he didn't want kids, and she really wanted kids regardless. And I'm like, it was her, and there was another young lady that was like, he's a good-looking guy, but he was a womanizer, and he did this and did that. And I mean, he was a ladies' man. That he couldn't be faithful, but she's like, he just needs a right woman that's gonna, keep the house clean and give him a good meal and do that type of stuff. I said, "Girl, he done told you who he is. He showed you." But still, married him. He started doing all that stuff that she saw that he was doing when they were dating, and then they divorced. So I'm like, sometimes it's right there in your face. The person tells you who they are. They show you who they are, and you just keep acting like you don't see it.
Okay, so then the modern answer to what you just said, Mama Noise, is what I said earlier. These women are saying, okay, you don't want this thing, you don't want that thing, then let's negotiate. Let's figure out what you do want and give and meet you halfway so I can have somebody in my life. And by the way, is that wrong? Is that wrong to construct the type of relationship that at least because Cuz says it's a fear of failure. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, Cuz, because I think there's some merit to what you're saying. I asked the question because I'm curious to know, is it wrong because you have that fear of failure that you need to construct a relationship that allows you not to fail on the terms that you needed to be? And does that make you crazy to do that? Because basically we're saying, okay, the original definition construct doesn't work. So let me shift it out to something that makes me more comfortable. Tar says there's no inside one size fits all for everyone. Y'all agree with that?
Absolutely.
You do agree with that?
There is no one size fits all.
Okay.
You know, I think this is going to be way out there in left field.
Well, we already are pretty out there, so
probably on the other side of the fence. I mean, it's way out there. But I think marriage counseling is dangerous.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Because marriage counselors generally bring to the table their experiences. Doesn't make them right or wrong. It's just their experience. And I'm a firm believer that you cannot change a person. A woman that comes along that believes she can change a man, or Steve Harvey saying that the right woman coming along, the man would change for the right woman. That's all a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. He may tweak around the edges, but his change has to come from within, and she's not going to be the reason why he changes. He's going to change because he's sick or tired of being who he was.
Will you concede? Will you concede that the right woman will make a man want to change, want to do better, and vice versa?
Catalyst. Can be a catalyst.
Yes. But that's temporary. That's kind of like getting a piece of pussy and thinking.
I thought that was a safe question.
No, there are no. This is Cuz Noise. About it.
That's temporary. See, the real change has to come from within. See, because eventually we're gonna get past that feeling that I have for you, and we're gonna get down to a real relationship. And who I was, if I really didn't work on who I was, it's gonna crop back up again.
But see, that's where I think that's where you and I part ways on the counseling thing, because I don't think counseling is designed to tell you what to do. I think any counselor that's trying to tell you what to do is a really, really bad counselor. That's not his or her job. A therapist should not be telling you what to do. That's not their job. A counselor should not be telling you what to do. What a counselor is doing is trying to guide you to help you clarify what it is you believe and what it is you think and where it is the direction you want to go in. And that's all they're doing. They're just trying to help you clean up the spaces so you can see clearly and then give you some guidance tools to say, hey, think about this, think about this, think about this. Doesn't mean you got to grab hold of everything and go A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, but you do have to, but it's okay to hear some stuff and say, that's something I hadn't thought about. That's something I hadn't thought about. And then try to apply what you need, to fit your situation. But I agree with you in the sense of if somebody's trying to tell you exactly A, B, C, D, E, F, G what to do, well, that may not work for your particular situation. That's kind of tough to say that.
I believe that
Yeah.
counselors can guide you, but yet still that it's hard to not come to the table with your own understanding of what's good versus bad. What will work and won't work. So I'm trying to guide you in conversation.
But I think it's okay to come to the table with what is dangerous and what has contributed to failing situations. I think that's fair. I think that's okay.
That's not foolproof to me.
It's not.
That's
Listen,
flawed.
it's not. But here's the situation. Just because I tell you that historically people that do these type of acts in a marriage don't work out, that don't mean you got to do it. You might still walk away from. Listen, Mama Noise and I counseled a couple, and we said, listen, historically, this is how this has turned out for most people. Guess what they did? They walked away, did exactly the opposite of what we told them, or we gave them the guidance in, and their marriage ultimately failed. So you don't have to do anything that the counselor guides you into doing. It's still your choice at the end of the day. But all we can give you is the facts. All we can give you is the experiences, what's the scientific term for this? Al, you know what it is. God, the experiment, the results of the hypothesis and the experiments. That's all we can give you. This was done, and this were the results. Now you can agree with those results and believe in those results or not. You don't have to. You can walk away and say, "Oh, some bullshit. I don't believe in that." Okay, great. That's your choice. But I'm just saying, 10 out of 10 couples touched that stove and found out it was hot. So now, if you want to keep touching it, go right ahead. But chances are you're gonna find out the same thing the other 10 couples found out.
I think marriage is very difficult to predict.
No question. Yes, I agree 100% in that.
Especially when you get together at an early age. There's going to be a lot of growth and a lot of changing taking place on both parts.
Mm-hmm.
And unless we mature together, we're going to grow apart.
Now, stop right there, put a pause on that, because I am curious to know what that means. Unless we mature together, what does that mean?
You asking me what does maturity means?
What does maturing together mean?
It means that we have an understanding that life is not just about our satisfaction and our own pleasures. That ultimately life is about giving. And if you don't grow with an understanding that I am to give to you and you are to give to me, unless we have that understanding, I think eventually you go apart because somebody's going to feel neglected. And that's a maturity issue because you never understood the purpose of the marriage. You didn't mature in the marriage to understand its purpose.
And see, to me, that go ahead, Al.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's what good counseling is. That's what good counseling. What you just said is what good counseling is. That's that guidance that we're talking about. Here's the purpose of marriage. Here's what some things that should be taking place. Here's how you mature together. It's not you wrong as hell. Why you do that? Don't be doing that no more. Stop that. Because if you don't understand decisions that are being made, you can't come to realizations that cause change. And so if all it is just a finger pointing exercise as to who did what wrong and who should be blamed, I don't think that's a good counseling session. I don't think a lot can be gained from those moments.
But ultimately, if we pull the curtains back on everybody's marriage, there is shit that all of us would say that we wouldn't put up with in everybody's marriage.
That's true for 100 points.
She's still in game show mode from Saturday.
That's facts, though.
It is facts.
So I'm leery to tell you. I mean, okay, you said that we don't tell. I'm
not saying there aren't counselors that you don't do
that
it.
path that you're going is the wrong path. I don't know.
No, but see, that's my point. All I can do when you sit in front of me, you and your wife or whatever, your husband, whatever, is say, listen, others have gone down this path that you two are going. They've made these choices. Here's where those choices have ended up.
Yeah.
Now, you can continue down this path, and probably with some degree of certainty, I can tell you this is where you're headed. If the two of you aren't willing to come to some understanding about some things about each other. But now, again, no one can force you to make those decisions. Me and Mama Noise would be lying to you if we told you that every couple we've counseled with, we've had tremendous success with. We have not. Because the truth of the matter is, some couples walked away and they were like, she's wrong and he ain't gonna ever change, and so we gonna just do what we do. And we were like, okay, what can you do? I mean, all we can do is lay it out for you. You got to choose, decide what you want to do with the information. Now, other couples have taken it and they were like, wow, we got to make some changes, and they made the changes, and they're successful. They have successful marriages to this day. But again, it's a choice thing. It's a choice thing. That's why I like what somebody said earlier. Cheating is a choice. It's a choice. You have to choose to do it, regardless of how bad
What's your idea? Understanding that all of our marriages are flawed, that there's no perfect marriage. That we're
I
all
agree.
human beings. What's your idea of a successful marriage?
What a great question.
A marriage where you don't stop learning.
Okay.
Or simply put, that if you become stubborn in your marriage, where you can't grow with your spouse, you can't learn with your spouse. That
a marriage where you've both decided that I am not willing to intentionally try to hurt you to satisfy my own needs.
Okay, that sounds better.
That's a successful marriage.
Well, I think that's a part of it. I don't know if it's the foundation, but it's got to be in there somewhere.
Well,
because, and I'm adding that in,
to hurt you to satisfy my own needs.
My own selfish needs. Because I'm not saying I don't have needs, because we all have needs in our marriage that need to be met. But I'm not willing to hurt you to get those needs met. I'm not willing to damage you, to belittle you, to mock you, or to cheat on you just to satisfy my needs. I think that has to be a part of the definition somewhere.
But what if I am not yet there in my marriage, but I grow to that? I believe the most successful marriages are those that go through.
Well,
listen now.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just thinking that through. I'm thinking that statement.
Shit that we never argue, we never had no fight, we never.
No. I disagree with that. I meant the learning part, still being teachable, still being, not to the point where you just like, that's just the way I am, and then it's just.
This is gonna sound bad, what I'm about to say, but it's apropos to what we're talking about. One of my favorite stories is a guy that I was at a marriage retreat with, not a marriage retreat, but a men's retreat. And he said For 20 years, I worked, and my wife and I never had an argument, never had a fight, never had a disagreement, this, that, and the other. But I traveled all the time. The moment I got laid off and had to go home and see her every day, our marriage almost didn't make it. That was a powerful moment for me to hear that, because it made me realize that marriages are not marriages until you've had conflict.
I was going to say that goes to what Jay said. It never been tested, so they had never gone through anything. So
you don't know what you got. Yeah,
I'll be the last to offer an explanation to what makes a successful marriage. But I would like to think that when both spouses wake up each and every day with a desire to make the other happy.
Al, I'm going to ask you a question I should not ask you. I should not be asking you this question. I know this, and yet I'm going to ask you anyway. Do you want to be married again?
Absolutely. But there's things that I can't get past that prevent that.
Woo, Al, B.
But yeah, I'm not giving up on the
rappers would call that bars.
Yeah, I'm not giving up on the institution of marriage.
But Al, think about what you just said. There's things that I'm still yet can't get past.
Oh yeah.
The wisdom of that, to me, is a critical component to what we're talking about. Because if there are things in your life that you simply have not been able to reconcile.
I mean, I've been soon to be 12 years. I've been divorced. So 1 year longer than I was married. I was married for 11, soon to be divorced for 12.
That's powerful, Al. That's really powerful. Because we don't do that. Like, to Cuz's point, we don't do that. We don't consider none of that shit when we dating. Well, my issues have nothing to do with my love.
I know that had I entered another relationship with the desire to get married, it would have failed.
Woo.
So, now
I don't think that's fair, Al B. I don't think that's fair.
Oh, it absolutely is fair, because I know me, cuz I know that I would have found reasons to suspect repeated behavior.
Right, because you got
whether it was there or not.
Yeah.
I would have sabotaged that relationship.
But you are a believer in the Most High.
Absolutely.
What does that have to do with the
Well, I understand what he's saying, because we're taught that if you are going to forgive, you must forget, and I am not there. I've forgiven, but I have not forgotten.
I believe getting married is almost like coming to Christ. Just
it
as
should
I
be.
am.
That's what the Bible teaches us. It should be.
You said just as I am?
Just as I am. I can't fix it all, because if I fix it all, then it was about what I did. I got to trust God in something. I got to believe that He can bring this person into my life, and that together we can grow and help each other on this journey called life.
That is if
I got to give it up at some point.
That is if God is the foundation of what you believe, or is at the foundation of what you believe marriage should be. So if it's that difficult for someone who I know, Al B, has a phenomenal relationship with the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, can you imagine how much harder that is for someone who does not, who has a casual relationship with Christ and the construct of marriage? So now it is not crazy to me. That's why when I started deconstructing crazy in my mind, I started to understand not my views of what people say marriage is, but what they're saying it is. And it is I can see how they got there. Now I see how you got there. Because if I'm not using Christianity and God as the foundation, I can see exactly how you got there. That makes sense to me. I don't agree, but I get how you got there.
Kyrie, why you gonna say it ain't that hard?
Well, because I think he said that on this show before. He said you just gotta. Well, I don't want to put words in the mouth. You answer for yourself, Kyrie. You go ahead. Right. He says it's work, and if you're willing to put the work, and you have to be willing to put the work in. That's basically what he's saying. Gotta know God. He said that before on this show. Gotta know God. It's work, and you have to be willing to put the work in. But the question I have for you, Kyrie, is what are you guys defining as the work? Because the work is only as good as the blueprint that you're using to build. So what are you calling the blueprint? Is the blueprint, as long as you tell me what you're doing, you can have any woman you want. Just don't be surprising me with nothing. Now, that couple, they say all the time, we are happy. We are thrilled at our marriage. We are very happy. Now, it ain't my place to be like, okay, y'all lying. Because how can you be happy with a man that's out here doing whatever he want to do? Or how can he be happy knowing that some other dude, it gets time with his wife? To me, that's hard to grab hold of. But that's their construct.
Okay, Catherine.
Catherine agrees. Both people have to put the work in.
I believe in putting in the work. I do. I believe that. But I also believe we have to, in order for him to get the victory, we have to do some faith walking too now. We can't figure it all out, y'all. We can't. It will always fail if it's just us.
Because how important, because you said something, but you kind of glossed over it. Now I'm coming back to it. How important is it for God to get the victory in marriage?
For me, it's everything. My marriage is less about my interaction with people, period, is less about the people and more about my relationship with God. I don't want to let him down. So I'm the man that I am because of the relationship I have with God. Not because of how wet my wife's shit is.
That is a blessing.
That's
you go
real
so
talk,
profound and so perverse in less than 6 words.
No, Albie, that's real talk.
It's
okay, yeah, but it could have been real.
Some men will walk, Albie, if that thing ain't wet.
Hey, it's the equivalent of going to Capitol Grill, having a nice ribeye on the plate as a roach runs by the table. You're just like, well, listen, what do I do? Do I eat this great meal and just ignore that?
Let me get a cowboy and or a tomahawk, however you want to call it, and a side of fries.
Side of fries, right?
But I understand your point. I completely agree.
We have to understand that that person you're married to, there's some changing that's going to take place. It's going to changes that's going to take place in you.
Yeah.
Some you may like and some you may dislike. But because of
go ahead.
My relationship with my God.
I guess one of the things I'm saying tonight here too, though, I honestly, and I'm growing, y'all. I'm trying to grow every single day in my understanding of people. I'm trying to do a much better job of having the same type of grace that God has for people. I'm trying to walk in his footsteps because that's what he has. We don't listen, and I say grace, but the truth of the matter is what I'm really talking about is mercy. Because the truth is, we have our own constructs of the way it should be done, of who people should be, of their thought process. And man, when they dance outside of those things, they're crazy to mother. Man, their marriage ain't gonna work. They're crazy. And the truth of the matter is, they are whatever they have experienced. And is it really fair of me, though I may desire them to walk in constructs that I have seen be successful, is it really truly fair of me to place that expectation upon someone who simply does not have that understanding or is not yet ready, like Al said, to receive that understanding? Because some people aren't ready for that. They're not ready.
True.
And maybe I just want to waller in my bullshit a little bit longer.
Maybe.
Even though I know it's bullshit.
And by the way, if I could get somebody to get on board with it and put a stamp on my bullshit, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
That's hard for us as believers. Listen, that ain't gonna preach on Sunday morning.
No.
I'm just gonna tell you, there ain't a church in that I know of would let me stand in their pulpit and say that truth. But that is the truth, though. That is the truth. You cannot make somebody become what you want them to become. No amount of teaching or all you can do is give them the tools and pray to God that something interrupts their understanding to cause them to shift. That's it. That's it. Ron said, Albie, stay in your pimp role a little longer. That's what you need.
You know what? What's that song, Lord?
Tar said I can come to St. Luke. All right, sign me up, Tar. Shit hell.
No.
I don't want to say shit hell though, but you know.
No, they're not.
That's a Methodist church, right?
Yeah. They're a little more liberal.
They'd be sleeping there anyway. That's why you can say whatever you want to say.
Oh, I say she's sleeping in church. Wow. That feels like it deserves some kind of button. Which
I'm just saying.
Something.
That's completely out of line. They do not sleep.
So is that a savage or a cold-blooded? Like that's
savage because
savage,
they don't sleep in church.
I feel
I agree.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh!
Full button too. Like the whole
they get out way too early to be falling asleep.
Listen.
They first ones at the buffet on Sunday, so no.
Listen. I got to give them props on that. They don't waste a lot of time. I ain't mad at them for that.
Oh my!
You go to some of these other churches, you be there 4-5 hours. You're like, dude, come on, man. Come on, man. Like what? You know.
See, she said they do not sleep at her church.
Right. Told you. This is a powerful conversation, though. This is because I'm telling you, I'm in a full-on rehabilitation as it relates to calling people crazy. I have been since Cuz brought it up. It's been almost a year now, probably. Maybe over a year. Maybe it's almost 2 years. But I'm in a full-on rehabilitation because I'm seeing it more and more. And I'm going, you know what? I get it. I don't necessarily agree with all your actions, but I get it. I get it. Tell him, Tara. Tara is defending her church. You ain't gonna talk about her church like that.
And I believe we really have to get into, as Christians. I think we've had this conversation on here before. Sorry, I'm sorry, Tara, if I was,
It's too late now. She done had to come for you.
I thought there was a difference between African Methodists, AME, and United Methodists. I thought them United Methodists stand up once or twice, and then they sit there and the preacher read a text, and then they nod off. That's what I thought. I'm sorry.
Lord have mercy.
But the AME, now them some get up and go.
We ain't got no AMEs to defend themselves.
Right. I could defend it because I grew up in it, but I'm just leave it alone for now because I don't go there anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I can call Grandma Noise. She still at me.
Nope.
Go ahead, finish what you said, cuz.
I forgot what it was.
That's why you can't interrupt him.
You're right. You're right. That's my fault. I'll take the L on that one. I'll take the L on that.
I'll be. You ain't right, brother. You ain't right.
When the hand went in,
it was over. It was
that's
all over.
classic. Damn, what was I?
And when the finger goes out,
Yeah, that was classic. Damn, what was I going
He tried to tap on the mental window to get it back.
you remember in the movie where he kept saying, "Pastor, can I get on program?
It's my daddy's funeral. It's my daddy.
I need to be on program."
Oh my goodness! Oh my
goodness!
I tell you what, man. I appreciate a conversation like this because I love marriage. I love married folk. I think marriage can be fun, especially when you got couples that are fighting for one another and trying to build together. I love hanging out with good married couples. The thing that makes it uncomfortable, though, Cuz and Al, y'all tell me what y'all think about this, Mama Noise. It's uncomfortable when you see a couple that ain't fighting for one another. You can tell.
Listen,
that's uncomfortable.
I think that's a dangerous place to be too, because everything ain't ever what it seems like on the outside anyway.
Right.
So it's best we not even try to figure out.
Oh, you talking about that they're not fighting for each other?
You say, well, yeah, when you see a couple not fighting for each other and fighting to lift up, I don't know. That's because a lot of times you hear women talk about my king, my queen, but shit, they should just as
right.
Broken.
I've found most of that is pure BS. Like a lot of times,
right?
You be like, man, is that how you treat your king? Like,
right, yeah. So I don't know. That's a tough one. What I was going to say earlier came back to me in the name.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Glory.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Stop it.
No, be quiet.
Stop it. We have to come to terms with what it means to cuss people out. I think we've gotten it so twisted.
What?
Lloyd, no, let him go.
Okay.
On what cussing really is.
Okay.
We've narrowed it down to 4-letter words. And that's not really cussing. But if I speak over your life with a curse, that you're stupid, that you're crazy, then I'm cussing you. I don't know how else to look at that. I'm putting you in a box that your creator may not want you to be in. That's cussing you.
Just because I know some people they'll be like, what is Cuz talking about? That's the literal definition. He's 1000% correct. I had your back. Wait a minute. How did that escalate to this? Wait a minute.
Damn.
Ooh. Are y'all having some problems that slide in that we need to talk about? Because that seemed like it escalated quickly. That escalated very quickly.
I think we do a lot more cussing than we're willing to admit.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
People out here trying to avoid 4-letter words and they cussing people out every day.
Yeah.
You right. I think the original was curse word, right?
Right. It's a curse word. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, you preached that thing, cuz.
Yeah, he did. And that was quick. That was sermonette.
What's your cash app, cuz? Let me go and
that was sermonette.
Wow.
Buy something, no?
Wow.
That's
But when I got started, I
that's-
saw my mama Noah's hand. She was like, "Oh, here we go."
She didn't know. She didn't know you
she
was
was
coming with that-
pleasantly surprised.
Right. She didn't know you was coming with that Rhema word. TD Jakes like level, Noel Jones type shit.
Oh no, not
You
Noel.
say Noel Jones type shit in the same
You know what? You
thing.
do favor. You do favor Noel. I'm just saying.
No, I just like his mannerisms, the articulation of the generational. And you're like, what the hell did you just say, man? But it'd be deep though. It'd be deep though.
But you listen.
Well, you got to, because if you don't, you ain't gonna hear you understand a word he's saying.
And then you said he finally got married.
But then I didn't know he was plugging that girl, the whole time while he was preaching. So that took a little off for me.
What the?
So you see what Tara just said?
What she say? I'm sorry, I missed it.
I like that.
She said, I cuss, not curse.
That's interesting.
She's making a distinction between cuss and curse.
Okay.
Well, listen, this is a heavy conversation, but I'm glad we had it. This was a good one. This is a good one. I think
she's been cussing for 27 years.
27 plus. Don't undersell that. She don't undersell it.
She said me too.
Now we me too it. The new Me Too movement is how long you been cussing?
Oh my gosh.
Well, listen, me personally, I don't have a problem with cussing. Obviously, on this here show, y'all think y'all should recognize that by now.
That much is certain.
I say words that Mama Noah just be bowing in prayer.
Mama Noah walked to the line tonight. She was like SOB. She was like,
I feel fortunate that I've never heard Cuz use those words.
Hilarious.
In the last two sentences, I should say.
What is life? What is life if I am not sharing it with someone?
What is life?
To do what though?
What is a vacation if I'm looking at the most beautiful scenery in the world and I have nobody to look to my left and right and share that scenery with?
Now, wait a minute. When I was single, it was a piece of mine that I had.
That's half of Instagram.
Say again?
That's half of Instagram. Folk going on vacations and taking a selfie by themselves.
That's because they have no other choice. Didn't nobody want to go with them, so they decide to do it by themselves. But when a moment is really special, seriously, RB, don't shake your head yet.
That's not true.
When a moment is really special, you want to share that special moment with someone, whether it be a girlfriend or two girls going or whatever.
And
yes,
there's a peaceful vacation
is nice to have if you want to sit and read a book. But I'm talking about a spectacular scene that you've never seen before, and you probably won't ever see it again. To be able to share it with someone means more than seeing it by yourself.
I don't know, because when I was single,
I left you on this one. They left you on this one.
Tell you,
I didn't leave you. I understand what he's saying, because he's not excluding or he's not ruling out that sometimes you need individual trips. Sometimes you need one person sabbaticals or
gotcha.
So I understand that. But yes, I dare say one of my ultimate goals is a week-long trip to Hawaii. I don't want to do that alone. So I understand what you're saying. I don't want to see Europe alone. But You bet your ass I want to go to DC alone.
Sure.
I enjoyed going to Dallas alone.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
So
I
I completely
understand
I
what you're
agree
saying.
with you. I'm still on board with you. I'm in the back seat. I ain't in the front seat. I don't feel that comfortable with you driving. So I'm gonna sit in the back.
Wow. And you're gonna stay awake the whole trip.
The whole trip.
Right. Because
The family and I are going to tour Italy in March. I would not do that trip by myself. It just wouldn't be the same. If I couldn't see a smile on my daughter's face or my wife's eyes light up at touring a church, because she loves to see churches. Oh my God.
Y'all going to see that church surrounded by water? Oh my gosh, this is our dream.
They both ends of the spectrum. Church, beginning of life, and then there's cemeteries.
Who wants the churches? The wife.
Mm-hmm.
So one want to see him rise, and the other want to see him put in the grave. That was
pretty much it.
Catch them coming and going. Catch them coming and going.
Y'all are each other's yin and yang. Y'all are each other's yin and yang.
You're dead wrong, because most of those churches, they actually bury people in the church.
And
that's what I'm saying. We said
our backyard.
You know,
See, he couldn't even say it without saying dead wrong.
Y'all got BOGO passes. Buy one, get one.
Right.
He said dead wrong.
Oh, come on, Ron. Get the fuck out of here. No.
He said go solo.
Tara said she working on trying to get her daughter to pay for it, so which I think is a noble idea. We a long way from that, though. We a long way from that.
If you experience something once in a lifetime experience, you want to share that with somebody. You don't want to just experience it by yourself. You just don't. Even if you experience it by yourself, you're probably gonna call somebody on the phone while you're there so they can take it in with you.
That's true.
Well, we as humans, the human experience is embedded in our abilities to share.
Socialization,
right? And without it, it makes the human trip, if I could say it that way, somewhat empty. So we want to share something. We want to share a laugh, a cry, a smile, information, an experience, something. Yeah. So I think I don't think I'm away from that thought as well. But let's extend this trip to an RV, because I'm with you, Al. Sometimes I do want moments of solitude.
Sure.
Yeah, so I get that. I get both experiences, but I'm more inclined to want to share it with Mama Noise, to share it with the girls, that kind of thing. Share it with family and friends, you know. So no, I agree with you on that.
I mean, when you said Italy, my mind is just start running wild, and I just start thinking about the church surrounded by water. This one, like one of the largest over there, and so many sites and stuff. I've been taking in information over the years, and me and Mr. Noise and the girls, we are going to Italy.
Yep. Well, this has been an amazing show tonight. I appreciate it. We was kind of in our bag tonight, y'all. Good work. Anything else we need to discuss before we go?
No, good show, guys.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think it's been good. Just real quick housekeeping note. We got a great show for you on Thursday morning. Believe in the ACC. We got our guy CL Brown coming back with us. To talk about the well, you know it's gonna be a great show because CL, me and Kendrick gonna get back together and just be our black self. So that's gonna be good just by itself. But man, the ACC is all over the place right now, so it's gonna be interesting to talk about that on Thursday morning. Then of course we got Black Friday and no. Due to some scheduling issues, there's no the 5 this week. The 5 will be back probably next Wednesday. Though we will have a ton to talk about by the end of next Sunday.
Oh, question.
Because this was an eventful Sunday to say the least. Saturday and Sunday to say the least. But yeah, we'll be back and to do it all over again. But yeah, this was an interesting week. Interesting week. So you muted, cuz you muted.
I apologize. We just need to clarify. Tara said that she's been cussing all her adult life, but she was talking about Noel Jones, 27 plus years, stringing that woman along.
Strung along.
See that there?
Strung along.
Oh, I'm telling you the truth.
Did he date her for 27 years, really?
Dated a long time. A long time. Thank you, Lord. Happy Founders Day to you as well.
What?
Happy Founders Day.
Oh.
Yeah. But he dated a long time. It was a long time.
It was ridiculous.
Like it was a couple of decades, from what I understand.
Sent over a century.
Off and on, or whatever it was.
But they got married.
They made it. I mean, it ain't a blueprint I would recommend to every woman.
Absolutely.
But it worked for her. So I guess she got what she wanted.
I guess that's all that matters.
Like we said earlier, one person's crazy is another person's journey. That's her journey. She chose to take that journey. Now, some of us might think the act of what she did was crazy, but that's her truth. That's her journey. So,
okay.
So, I don't get it, but whatever. Whatever. All right, y'all. We love y'all, man. This was a good show. We appreciate y'all pulling up and making an even better show with these amazing comments and just having a good time tonight. Shout out to each and every one of you. We appreciate you. We'll be back to do it all over again on Friday. Yay. Peace.
We're talking.